He said he was going to die. And I'm sure they heard him because he said it many times. But maybe they just couldn't bring themselves to believe it. Because he was at the height of his popularity. And his death just didn't fit the narrative. They just couldn't hear it. But the chief priests and Pharisees heard clearly what Jesus had said. At least one particular thing. Matthew 27:62-66 says this. On the next day, after his death, the chief priests and Pharisees gathered together to Pilate, the governor. And they said, "Sir, we remember while he was still alive how that deceiver said, 'After 3 days I will rise.' Therefore command the tomb be made secure until the 3rd day, lest his disciples come by night and steal him away and say to the people, 'He has risen from the dead.'" And Pilate said to them, "You have a guard. Make it as secure as you know how." And I find it so amazing that someone can hear the words of Jesus and yet not hear the words of Jesus. God tells us plainly what he wants to do. And sometimes we're numb to it, or sometimes we're just not ready to hear it, or, if we're completely honest, sometimes we're like the Pharisees and plotting actively against what Jesus is saying to try to keep our control over our lives in some way. And so the Pharisees paid for the tomb to be sealed with a stone and to be guarded with the best guard around. I wonder, while the followers of Jesus were still in shock at his death, if perhaps some of them also remembered these same words that the Pharisees did. After 3 days, I will rise. And maybe this was too much for them to believe in that moment as well. For now, it was silent. And the traditional preparation of the body was complete. The women who prepared his body for burial saw with their own eyes how he was laid. Luke chapter 23 tells us this. There was a body inside, and the tomb was sealed, and then all was quiet as all Israel observed the Sabbath. Those who opposed Jesus would be celebrating wildly what they perceived to be a great achievement. Everything had gone their way. The voice of Jesus was silenced behind a burial cloth and a heavy stone. A Navy SEAL level guard was posted outside. They had done everything possible from the outside to keep a body secure. But they hadn't counted on who it really was that was left on the inside. And he would not be left on the inside.